Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. As you can see, we only got 40 hours until the new release of Zendikar Rising. So very excited about that. But today's focus, while we still have time, is we're going to cover a top 100 standard deck for you. This one's pretty interesting. I'm very excited about it, and I think it's going to have a lot of fun for us today, and is obviously very competitive. So before we get started and check it out, I just want to say thank you. As always, I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well. All right, so here we go. What deck am I speaking of? Well, we have a top 100 Orzhov Sacrifice Deck. So as you all know, I love covering interesting things, and towards the end of the season here, or rotation actually, I should say to be correct, with Zendikar coming, I am very excited to play this deck because it's definitely different. We haven't covered anything like it. And this particular one is one of the players that we've covered before, Ubelstar. So congratulations, Ubelstar, on your top 100 ranking in the near term here. And best of luck when Zendikar comes around. So first off, this deck is available for you down below in the description, so you have access to it right away. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have going on, and then I'll come back and cover some of the key components here for you. And then if you do have questions or comments, please let me know down below. Always happy to help. So let's go ahead and start here and work our way backwards. So Revival Revenge. So we get a return target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from graveyard to the battlefield, or double our life total. Target opponent loses half their life, and rounded up. Ooh, so we got a lot of good ways that we can bring things back. We can gain life as well as significantly hurt our opponents. But as we work backwards here, we have Mythra, Supersonic Queen. So for those of you that don't know how this card operates, it's a very, very powerful card. So when a creature we control without flying dies, we may return it to the battlefield under our control with a flying counter on it. So pretty interesting. It's very, very powerful. Additionally, in this shell with all the different activations, it's going to be and do big things for us. Couple of callouts here. Bastion of Remembrance. This card is very powerful. This is the drain one, gain one, and we get a creature. You get 2 of these things on the board, plus Cruel Celebrant here. I mean, it gets real nasty real fast, and our opponents are going to have to consistently keep things off our board. So the best kind of counters are going to really be the exile cards, because it's not going to allow us to activate. Now we have Liliana Standard Bearer. So this card we can flash in. When it enters, we draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that die this turn under our control. Additionally, we have Veto. So Veto, many of you know, whenever we gain life, our opponents lose that much life. We have Wolfstrider for additional sack power. We got Priest of Forgotten Gods for sack power. Cruel Celebrant here, again, similar, but a creature, but not quite the same. And then we have Archfiend, Gutterbones, Serrated Scorpion, and Village Rites for some additional draw. So lots of power in the draw here, lots of viability, the ability to bring back here with Revival on Archfiend. And get that nice, lovely flyer. Love the deck, but something you could absolutely put in here too could be Aluris in terms of bringing some of these components back. Something to think of, but I think, to be honest, this deck is obviously very efficient in what it's trying to achieve and do as well. So very excited about this, and it's not all 4-ofs, which I always like because we want to have options. And then in terms of lands, we are running 24. Again, many of you know that I enjoy being closer to 2022. You could probably run 22 here, or even 23, and then run that Luris like I was talking about, or you can add in some of these other spots, which would be awesome nonetheless. All right, so let's go ahead here and talk a little bit about the sideboard, and then we'll go into our how we sideboard, and then the matches, best of 1 and best of 3 here today with this Orzhov Sacrifice deck. So quickly, what do we have going on? So first we got Agonizing Remorse. So this card is very powerful. Where would I play this? Well, anytime we need to get stuff out of our opponent's hand, and the exile is going to be a Euro card for us right here. So play this against the Sultai decks, play this against the ramp decks. You can also play this against any other control deck. Yorion, Elementals, all that stuff is still around. This is going to be your friend. Next we have Eliminate. Also any of the Sultai Ramp, Sultai Control, all those things. So insert Sultai X there. Eliminate here, destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cover cost 3 or less. So you would want to play this against things like the mono whites for Basri. You can play this against Narset, absolutely. You're going to want to play this against any fast decks, so things like mono red. You may want to play this against mono green. The benefit here, though, is we have a lot of creatures, so we're going to do very well up front against any of the aggro decks, just because we'll be able to handle a lot of the incoming damage. Next, we have Noxious Grass. So here's the big one here. This is really important against mono green and mono white, but the big thing is this is going to get your Nissas off the board. So similar to Agonizing Remorse, you're going to sideboard this in for the Sultai decks, the ramp decks, those kinds of things. Next, we got Consecrate and Consume. So exile target card from a graveyard. So this is going to be beneficial against the Euro decks and anything else that we need to get out of a graveyard. And then the other one is target player sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control, and then we gain life equal to its power. So this is another good one against things like mono green as well, because we'll have the ability to, if they play Serpent and land the Mutate on top with Gem Razor and got a really large creature, we can play this and get a lot back. So lots and lots of cool things there with that. Next, we got Dire Tactics. So this is one of my favorite cards. I ran this in my Mardu Knights deck. Additionally, I think you guys have heard this before, and then we ran it in the Orzhov Humans deck that we played. This card is very good at removing things off the board. We just need to have a human. If we don't, we lose quite a bit of health, but in a deck like this, we don't have to worry too much. We have one human there. We get a human with that, I think, token, yep. And that's going to be and human cleric. There we go. So a couple options that we don't have to worry about too much, but again, be careful if you do exile Euro off the board or something like that on the stack, which you can absolutely do. You're going to be careful that you're not going to take 6 damage because that can hurt you. Next, we have Ashiok. So where would I play this? Again, any creatures, any fast decks, this would be good. Any decks that you know that you need to get the creatures off the board, sack decks, those kinds of things. Eliminate and Agonize Remorse would also be good for you in sack decks. And next we have Ashiok Dream Render. So this card is one of my favorite mill cards, and obviously we're sad to see it go bye-bye with War of the Spark. But what does this card do? So first, spells and abilities our opponents control can't cause their controller search the library. So bye-bye for that. And then the next piece is target player mills 4 cards and exile each opponent's graveyard. So when we're looking and playing against people like the ramp decks, Euro decks, those kinds of things, any of the sack decks, you're going to play Ashiok Dream Render, and this is going to help shut down those decks. Next, we got Liliana, Waker of the Dead. So each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. We can get a strap. So essentially, target creature gets -X till end of turn, where X is the number of cards in our graveyard. And -7, we get an emblem with at the beginning of our combat. We'll put a target creature card from a graveyard on the battlefield under our control, and it gains haste. Sounds pretty good to me. Where would I play this? Again, very good against other decks that are doing discarding, so you can pair that well with Ashiok. Also, this is going to be good against creature-based decks because we can get a little bit of control, and then if we do get to 7, not only do we get our creatures back, but we can leverage our opponent's creatures. Would I play this against a control deck? I think that one could be questionable. You're going to be really fast already, so I think that one could depend a little bit on some of the late game. Next, we have Cavalier of Night. So this card is great. This is going to be our direct kill spell card because, as you can see, everything else here is really creature-based. And again, we are only running 6 sorceries and 3 enchantments. And the only thing that we have on here to really take off a creature is going to be Priest of Forgotten Gods. So we do have that Dire Tactics. We have some of the Grasp things here. But Cavalier of Night is going to allow us to destroy a creature of ours, sack creature, and destroy a creature our opponents control. So this is going to be a must-need against things like Sac. Again, decks where we need to reach, where we may not be able to quite get there, and help us kind of control the board. And then additionally, when this creature dies, we can pull any of these bad boys back, which is going to be huge. So with that said, Planeswalkers, enough of the deck there. Let's talk a little bit about how we'd sideboard. So two things. We're going to break it into the creature-based decks as well as the control decks, and we'll go from there. And again, generalizing, but I think it's important. So against aggro, this is going to run fairly well, and we're not going to have to worry about it too much. But what would I put in? One, if they're not leveraging any of the graveyard type stuff, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't worry about it. Any of the kill spells, if they're green or white, absolutely move in Noxious Grasp, move Eliminate in. Agonizing Remorse, you're not necessarily going to need to play, but against mono red, you may want to play it just to see how they're playing and if they got cleave kind of a thing. Consecrate, Consume, not gonna have to worry about again. I would maybe only run this against the removal for the Euro decks. Dire Tactics you may want to run, and I would do this just to keep things off the board, or not allow them to really get to a board state that is going to become too powerful for what you have here. Liliana I'd maybe run as well, and then Cavalier of Night, again, depending on what it is, I may run. So I would definitely run this against the Sac deck for the reach. You're going to want to run these again when you need that reach. So it's primarily probably going to be against Sac. A lot of the other more aggro type decks you should be able to handle, but these things you may want to bring in. Where would I start? Well, again, 22 lands like I talked. I may cut one land. Again, very risky, but where I would look to optimize, I would begin to look at maybe here, and depending on what I'm trying to do. So you can only bring Archfiend back in with Revival. That's a pretty heavy setup in my book. So you may want to, unless this would activate it, enter the battlefield, enter from graveyard. It's not entering from graveyard, I don't believe, so that's not going to enable it, but maybe we'll find out. I would maybe look at these 6 right there. That's a pretty easy win for us to kind of control the board. And again, like I said, that's a pretty hefty setup when you go that route. I think you're going to want to keep a lot of these different activation things off. Now, if they aren't running creatures, and let's shift in the control here. If they aren't running creatures, though, Priest of Forgotten Gods isn't a terrible one to side out and pull some of these other things in. But you do want to make sure that you're hitting the sacks. You're going to need Willstrike or those things to activate Cruel Celebrant as well as Bastion of Remembrance. So a couple different things and considerations there as well. But hopefully that gives you an idea of how you can play, how you can think about it. If you're worried about not getting draw or getting the draw, you could always do something like this too. So anyway, Planeswalkers, enough talking there. Let's go ahead and take this top 100 deck into some actions. Questions, comments down below. Let me know. Again, deck list down below. All right, looking forward to this top 100 deck. We're going to bring it into some Mythic action for you today. I think I'm like mid-90s right now, so I apologize. But let's go for Standard Ranked and Orzhov Top 100 by Ubelstar. All right, Planeswalkers. Before we get started here and decide if we're going to keep this hand against Mungo Park, so 95%, so playing up a little bit, which is good. I just want to say thank you as always. Appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Again, if you like the video, please like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Twitch as well. All right, so what are we doing? Well, we got a lot of 3s. We need a faster start. I'm going to mulligan. This was not a much better one, so I'm going to try one more time. We'll go with this. I'm going to keep Wolf Strider. And we'll dump land. So very aggressive on the mulligans. I didn't want to wait till turn 3. I wanted to get the board started to get built, because I think that's going to be really important for us. So we got a Sultai deck here off the bat. Ooh. So good news here. So we absolutely will sack here. And now we can bring Gutterbones back too. Dump these two. Reload. So here we can get Archfiend in and we can use Revival. We can double our life total and go to almost 20. Opponent loses half their life rounded up. So gain like 5. A lot of things we can do here. And then we can sack those two as well. And the only thing they'll hit will be Woe Strider. And we'll keep Veto. So here's something that's pretty tricky. So if we can get Veto on and then activate that, double your life total, it would totally drain them so fast. But we're not going to be able to get there, I don't think. Oop. And I want to play Archfiend. And we'll go like that. Now keep in mind, close to lethal. I'm going to save this because we can kill him with that. He'll gain 2 triggers. But we still might have enough here. And this, if we can pull this off, it's going to look really, really nice. they'll gain, we'll double life, so we'll gain 16. So we'll go to 14. Boom! It worked! Oh no. It worked. Revival, Revenge. We got it off. Comboed off. That is hilarious, my friends. Alright, well, Ubastar, I have to hand it to you on that one. Alright, Planeswalkers. On to our next best of one match here. Well, I'm glad you guys got to see how that works. The life gain is not going to help you if you can maintain high life. That is a great killer card. All right, Tubi Kayama. Oh, Sac deck. We have Cruel, we got Gutter, we got Woe. Do I wait? I got turn one. Oh, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I don't like it. I'm going to try it. But I went down to 5 and I won the last match. But this is going to be a little bit harder, I think. We will see. Oh no. If we can get a planes, we'll be off to a good start. Oh. They're gonna steal, that's okay. As long as they don't bring the flying demon back. We're also gonna want to kind of hold Celebrant back. We don't want to play that alone. So we'll have to be very thoughtful in how we do this. If they pull Archfiend back, ooh, that was big for us. We are gonna look, because I need that plains. No. Oh. So we don't need to waste that. Here comes their 5/5. We can get this on the board, but we got a long ways to go. Well, if I don't block, they still gotta sack something else, so let's just not block it. Well, it wasn't considered our creature. Or we needed to do it after that, maybe. That might have been the issue. Well, unfortunately, we did not have the right mana. That was a bad keep and call on my end for that one there. But I will still say, and this was a great deck to play against too, because we had the sack. So I will say, there it is finally. I don't know if I play this, so if I'll get enough life back to live long enough. Try it. Go to 12 to we can do this. So again, if we would have doubled, we would have went to 12. They would have got cut in half. It wouldn't have been enough. Man, look at that. No planes. We've gone through so many cards. And yes, I know I'm done. Oh. Bad keep. Good match nonetheless. We did our best, and that is how Magic goes. We go from a super fun combo to a very, very poor land play, but that was on me. All right, Planeswalkers, on to our third match, which is going to be best of 3 here. Traditional standard ranked. I'm looking forward to this. I think this one's going to be pretty fun. That combo was a blast, and this time let's look to maximize the combo and minimize the land issues. All right, look at that. Finally, we have a turn 1 and 2 play, even though it's going to cost us. That's fine. Lovely Temur deck. So this is where Agonizing Remorse, as well as our favorite Ashiok, is going to come into play now. Here we go. We got a turn 3. Pull that back in. And again, exile here is important on things like Cavalier. So we can pull Serrated back again. Hopefully they miss here. Oh. A lot of life gain, but we got a chance here. actually going to drop a Cruel Sovereign. There we go. That is how fast those things stack. So, what did we talk about there? Destroy creature, planeswalker that's green or white. Agonize Remorse is good. And so is Dire Tactics plus this. So we're gonna go these three, those two. What do we want to get rid of? I'm gonna drop Archfiend. We got destroyed on the lands. 10 plains, 11 swamps. Struggling with that plane though, man. Get rid of one swamp. Alright. 4 more to go. We'll drop that. We'll drop a Mothra. We've not done a good job hitting that. What else? I'll drop one of those. And 1 Liliana's. Alright, there we go. Because we still need to be creature based. We need to pull things out of their hand, and we need to exile. I think that will do it. We'll go from there. Renix 1-0 right now against Temur Elementals deck. We got the colors. I will try it. So now we'll be off to a good start. Bone Crusher? No. Ooh. Nice. Flame Sweep. Good choice. There we go. So we got Mothra. So we gotta go with, let's do this first.
I am that which night I leave you with one.
Because now we can kill Cavalier without a problem. And can't search library. Block Sac. take veto for now.
Behold my epilogue.
It'll be 5. Let's do this. Let's get everything out of their hand. Chandra's gone.
I can always do better next time.
And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They can double drop. They can double drop. And that's going to be painful. Okay.
Fizzled out.
Back. That way. There, now they're getting smart. Almost have lethal.
Your final.
Wow, look at all the Euros. Well, we almost milled them. It's pretty close. Pretty close. So we just got to get Terror off. We played a lot of the right stuff. Eliminate is not going to be good enough. We could do Cavalier of Night here, which I think we're going to side in. We're going to add Lily as well, green or white. That's a tough one. I think we do that. Keep Mythra. This was fine. This is fine. I think we drop another standard bearer. We need 2 more, huh? More creature focused again. Let's do that. Renix. Here we go. We will play first. There we go. Similar situation as last time. Actually, this is going to be the better play. Next turn we Agonizing Remorse. And Gutter Bones. Ooh, we're gonna get rid of Ultimatum. Do I let the Risen Reefs rise though? I think we go Ultimatum. Risen Reef's gonna slow him down. There we go. Grab our white. We can strap it.
Seize the day, my minions. Get out of my way already.
I don't want the double trigger. That's gonna help us. Because now we can play Ashiok. Should have did this first, but we'll learn.
You think too much. Sorry for your loss.
I leave you with one.
Now we'll save that.
Don't care about your plans.
Well,
Behold,
oh boy.
my epilogue of fear.
Boom, there we go. Made the change. Liliana brought us home up to 97%. Moving on up. Well, that was quite some fun here with the Orzhov Sacrifice deck. Did great in best of one. Comboed off first match, second match. Bad job on my part in the keep for the lands. third best of 3, took her home in a 2-1 style. So very excited about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this list again. Very, very fun deck by Star. So hats off to this top 100 deck. You got a few days left to play it. And let's see here. Yep, some of the stuff's going to fall out, unfortunately, but that's how it goes. All right, Planeswalkers, again, deck list is available for you down below. If you got questions, comments, please let me know. Happy to help. A lot of fun. I think we're going to be able to see something similar or a shell of hopefully in the next season. So we'll have to take a look and see what we can do, but always a big fan of the Sacrifice decks. Planeswalkers, questions, comments, like I said, let me know. Deck list down below. If you like the video, please like it. Additionally, please feel free to continue to support the channel by subscribing down over there. You can also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Hope you enjoyed this episode and enjoy the top 100 Orzhov Sac deck. I think it's a lot of fun. Very, very viable deck for you as well. You still got a few days to make good use in haste and hopefully hit Mythic if you haven't, or keep climbing in the top 1500 otherwise. All right, Planeswalkers, you take care. Stay safe. Mythras out. Until next time.